Really fun afternoon and a fun evening.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of fun is different, right? Because we were not used to being online so much, but
Right.
right now this is the only option to stay in touch with people.
Sanity. It's the need of the hour to keep sane.
Exactly.
I hope we get a good number of people watching this.
Yes,
It's
yes,
hard because you talk to everybody and they're so disheartened and pessimistic about everything. And
yes,
I don't think so. I think everybody that was doing things right will continue. It's the ones who weren't doing things right that will generally fall off the wagon.
exactly. Yeah, that's it.
Who are cutting corners and who are overspending and their food costs were out the door and, all their expenses were crazy. Those are the ones who will not be able to manage this, ride this wave. But if you're running things properly, I think you'll be able to ride the wave and then even come out stronger.
Exactly.
Natural selection.
Yes, yes.
That post that you put, Edjos, was so beautiful, but I can't
Yes.
share it. The FB post.
The actually I got featured on a chef's post on Instagram, so I reposted from her account. Then I'll
Oh,
send you the
so
link. Yeah,
send me the link so that I
yeah, yeah.
can put it on our page, on our FB page. I'd like that because it
Yes.
was very well written up, and it had such beautiful pictures that I was like, oh my God, brings back
I
memories.
made all that. Yeah.
I know, I know. So has food hall kept on everyone, or they only kept on the good guys?
No, still as of now, everyone's there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So yeah, but there are like only half of the staff has called on board because first because of social distancing and all. Our restaurants have started takeaways,
Uh-huh.
both the cafe and the Sorrentina, both of them. Yeah. And
Okay.
we are doing online classes.
Oh, okay.
So like
Oh,
proper
good.
social distancing and all is maintained out there.
Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good, good, good. But these are lucky. I cannot step outside this complex. It's like when Fort Knox, you have to
Yeah,
get a
yeah,
letter from the COVID committee. Then you have to show it at the gate. Then that fellow decides whether he wants to let you out or not. Then
exactly.
he'll decide whether he wants to
Quite,
let you back in. So better not to go anywhere.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I think everyone has come in already, or uh, Roma, Rahul. Oh, lots of the students have come in. Good.
No,
Okay.
ma'am, we're waiting for a few more to join.
Okay. Okay.
We're
Okay.
still about 15
No, it's
minutes.
long time. It's only 4:15, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All the prompt Don Boscoites are here early, and Ashita. I don't know who Ashita is, but very sweet of her to join us. You know that ma'am used to. Hi, Ashita. Welcome.
Hello,
Thank you
ma'am.
for joining us.
Thank you. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm also good.
So you get to see some of us today.
Okay.
A lot of the new students are going to come in on the to visit. Edjos, you know how much ma'am used to plan, right? And plan and plan.
Yes,
Can't do
yes.
any more planning. You're
I know
trying to
the planning can be done, but slightly differently,
Yes.
Yeah.
You think we'll be able to do Spectrum?
Oh, now that's
No,
yeah,
not the
that's
way we do
something.
it, obviously. No,
Obviously,
not the
yeah.
way we do it. But my nephew who is in Dallas for Mother's Day, so this is May, they managed to do 300 people
Okay.
for a Mother's Day dinner, lunch. They took an entire park, okay? and they put tables all over, and there were 6 to a table or 4 to a table, and they gave you baskets, and in the baskets was the entire meal with a bottle of wine and a bottle of champagne.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was,
Very interesting concept,
I think it was $300 for 6 people with the wine and the champagne and everything. And so you just, you know, the moment you came, someone came and put the basket on the table and left.
All
And
right.
those people were on their own. In case they needed help with the champagne, somebody was there to help them.
Oh, that's nice in that way.
Very good idea. No?
Very good concept, yeah.
And they made a ton
Concept
of
like
money.
this can be done for Spectrum.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
Man's constantly figuring out.
Exactly.
Can't lose out on 1 year like that. Because I think it will be our 10th year. 10th year, I think.
तुम लोग का बड़ा ग्रुप.
I can hear Nixon, sir.
Hi, Jules. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm good, I'm good.
See how excited everybody is to see you at Joss.
Yes, very excited. Nice
Please don't
mug,
miss-
ma'am. Very
I know.
nice mug.
I have to. We have 10 minutes now. I'm just going to run and get something and I'm going to be back. Okay. So I'm just going to put this on.
No.
How do I do that? I'll do that.
Sandwiches and
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Carvalho. How are you doing?
I'm good, Mr. Fernandez. So you're a student of,
Yes, of the
Masters?
college, yeah. Yes.
and you're working now?
Yeah, right now I'm working, yeah.
No, I mean currently.
Graduated. Currently, yeah. So right now I'm not at the job. I'm at home now. Yeah, but yeah, currently I'm working at Food Hall Cookery Studio. Yeah.
I like you've worn your uniform and all that.
Yes.
Being at home. Good.
Yeah.
And I mean, how come you're not working? Because of staffing issues or transportation?
No, actually today I took an off.
Okay.
Yes.
Where are you based? Where are you working?
At Santa Cruz only.
Okay.
Food Hall Linking Road, yes. I'm
Okay.
based there, yeah. So today I took on because there it's quite rush everywhere going this and on. And there's a lot of noise and all. So I said I'll stay at home today
Okay.
for this. Yes.
Good evening, Annabelle.
Good evening, Ivan. Thank you so much.
Not at all.
Yeah,
For
because
your-
you're a busy man because everything has stayed as the way it is, right?
I'm busy in the morning, yeah. I go to work early and try and come back early. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm busy.
Because I mean, people were desperate for bread, and so there's no way you guys can stop working.
Essential
Right.
supply, no? Give us today
Yeah.
our daily bread.
There you go. I love that.
Hello.
Hi, Vidita.
Hi.
Good evening.
Hi.
So happy you.
Hi, Chef
come.
Vidita. Good
Thank
evening.
you.
Hi. Hello, sir. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you for having me, Annabelle ma'am. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. It's like coming home, right, Vidita?
Yeah, totally. Only through Zoom. I don't know. Zoom is working. I don't know why the government is not working something like Zoom. Actually, we should be, we have no option. There are options actually, like something like Zoom, but people are not taking it seriously, which is quite sad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? So
yeah.
we have
We
option.
are running classes on Microsoft Team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping that it'll stay free for a while though.
No problem.
That's the only fright. Because they'll come with one heavy bill and we are done for.
Yep.
But this
So
is the
HOs
best platform so far.
Hi, chef.
Yeah,
Vidita,
true,
how are you?
actually.
Vidita,
I mean,
you have met Ivan, right?
No, ma'am,
Ivan
I have not.
is
Hi.
American Express
Oh, hello, sir.
Bakery
Hello.
Hi.
institution,
Don't call me
fourth
Shiv. Don't
generation
call me Ivan.
baker.
Oh, okay.
And Vidita is from Metzger. She's used to be the head of bakery and confectionery in Orchid.
Okay.
Right? With food, Vidita?
Oh, me?
You,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've done for I've done private and I've done for kids. So
Oh,
a lot
right.
of kids activity are happening because since there was a lockdown
Yeah, yeah.
of this, so the parents are going crazy actually. So
Yes.
a lot of kids activity are happening.
Ivan has two youngsters,
Ah, okay.
nine and 6, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So
Now 10. Now 10.
Now
During
10.
now
lockdown,
you must
we celebrated his 10th birthday.
Oh, wow.
wow. So you must be making them now like, okay, get into the bakery, start baking right now.
Yeah. No. They are happy at home. I wouldn't, want to force them, but yeah, happy baking at home. Let's be.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, true.
As
Nice.
long as they're doing something at home, it's better.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting.
Now so everyone's become Master Chef India. It's like
Not
that.
only Master
Oh, yeah,
Chef,
that's there.
can't get flour.
Exactly.
Can't
Yeah,
get
yeah.
flour.
For a while, you could not get flour. In America, shelves were empty. My
Oh,
nieces
really?
and nephews are going, we want to bake, there's no flour to bake.
But
In the May,
That is one thing that I was happy. I ran through March, April, May, and everything was good. My flour supply, my yeast supply,
wow.
all online. Really, I mean, somehow we also managed to get it, and no increase in prices. Not like
Wow.
vegetables, like really it went up.
Yeah.
Okay, dry fruits and all went up, but flour, yeast, and the basic oil, margarine, they held the pricing, and I've hats
Fantastic.
off to them, really.
Yeah,
And
fantastic.
I don't have contracts with all these people, yearly contracts.
Oh, wow.
then that's commendable. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
lot of the suppliers now don't want to get into a contract. It's not only because of the pandemic, but they just don't want to get into a contract.
Oh, okay.
But these guys held their this thing. And they told me take flour and store. So the good part of it, before it started, I stored and I had that head start on it. So I could give them like 4-5 days notice, but they did supply.
And all cash on delivery, or they give you some terms?
No, they gave me credit.
Oh, they gave you credit? Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, they gave me credit.
But who wouldn't give American Express? Come on, you guys have been around for 100 years.
That is one thing. Annabelle, it's a relationship. If someone wanted the cash, if someone wanted a check, I wrote it out and I gave it to them, because what's happened, a lot of hotels that I supplied probably paid me now. They paid me March and April with the amounts was pittance, nothing. Okay, nothing.
Right.
And Jan and Feb, they've held back.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't know, and this and that. I said, well, Jan and Feb, well, this is so much. But anyway, I said by first week of July, I want it all cleared.
Right.
And a lot of suppliers are stuck like that. I know guys who supply me cheese and butter and all, and they said, our bills are just stuck because the hotels still have that inventory with them. But I said for me it was bread. So I said, the bread is definitely over if they're ordering more.
Right.
A lot of suppliers are scared and this thing, and once I gave them those assurities, as you said, American Express Bakery, I said, you want it, take it, I don't have a problem. But most of them never did.
That's fantastic.
The main thing is the supply coming in. Your production has to run.
Right.
Yeah, true.
Especially in Baikla, I realized by mid-April, all the bakeries were shutting because there was no labor.
Yeah.
Right.
Skilled labors are gone.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know, and I mean, City Bakery shut down in Berlin.
Right, right,
Uh,
right, right.
Okay, Viv shut down for a certain reason that they were detected with COVID, so they shut down
Right.
there. Smaller bakeries in and around Baikla area, everyone shut down because all the labor just went off. I mean, they went to Gaon because
Right,
you know
right.
they're migrant labor. They all went off.
Yeah.
And I saw my bread production rising, and all my workers said, yeah, because all the bakeries are shutting. Now slowly it's opening out, and it was also Ramzan that time.
Right.
So there was an extra demand from there, you know. So business wise, it worked out well. Like situation wise, it is sad.
Right, right.
No,
Right.
and I guess the experience was also running the 93 riots. We did
Right.
that time as well. I mean, you must have been, I don't know whether you were here or you were abroad.
No, I was there at that time.
Yeah, that situation, not the first, the second riots was really bad
Really bad.
because we only opened curfew for 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening. And distributing bread price, I remember, was 425. We were selling at 5 rupees because of a change problem.
Right.
And we called, what's it called? We called Asha Dan sisters to help us. So, you know, the police and the military, that time there was military, never hassled.
Right.
So, but again, there the supply chain never broke. My supply still only thing go to Crawford Market was for East.
Oh my goodness!
But it worked out really well.
That is such good news.
Yeah.
That's part of this whole talk today. There is optimism in all the.
I think you have to only find a solution towards it. I mean, it takes a little time, but you have to work around it, I guess.
And also it's good that there are still good people who are still doing what they're supposed to be doing, not gouging, you know, otherwise price gouging is the first thing.
In our thing, it was like, you know, what happened is even if we had inventory, we had to give it back. So we were like telling the suppliers, you take it back, because the problem is that if there are no people in the hotel, how are we going to sell and how are we going to get a revenue? Was a question. And now because our our hotel is a quarantine one, to tell you the truth. A lot of hotels are actually. But
Lots of them.
So, but they're in slabs, right? Like as per the rules and regulation that is there. So we are only giving like a proper, like a tray format, you know, where you make the food and keep it outside the room and then they, you know, pick it up from there. So in the start, when we had them, we had like little games and live session for them, because 7 days, or first it was 15 days. So being 15 days in that room is not a joke. Like, it's like, you really realize that they need freedom. And the thing is, see, the hotels don't have windows.
Right. So
they're all shut. So the problem is that the only thing that they have to breathe is the central AC, which is there. So they do, like, in between, they do come out. Come out means they don't loiter in the hotel, but they just open the door, take the food. That's the time they can breathe, actually, like proper fresh air. You can't do anything. What happens? BMC comes around and checks, you know. So it's it's quite scary, but then what can you do?
Yeah, no, on the flip side, one of my friends that came back from the US, she's at home. So she said, I'm so happy for those 14 days. I could just sit and do nothing. Now I'm doing everything at home.
Oh my God.
Longing for the 15 days in the hotel.
Yeah, that's there. Like 14 days, you're just chilling in your own room. And what else can you do? Talk to friends and family, and that's it. That's the whole thing. But yeah.
Okay, so we'll get ready to start. Has Tanvi and Yash come in?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We are still waiting on them.
Okay.
HS, has food all started?
Yes, we are getting online classes. Yeah.
Online classes.
Yes, we use it online.
Right now, everything is online only.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, the sad part is, like, these studios and all also, like, a lot of people can't pay rent. So the problem is that a lot of studios are going to shut down because they'll be like, everyone can do it online, then why not? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yes. And the best part with us is that we are associate future group. It's not a standalone. So then we have a backing up for it. So it is, so it is quite there. And plus, as Mr. Karwala rightly said, the suppliers are always helping, and they actually did that. Even to take classes, we never had ingredients at the start. And then slowly the suppliers started sending us stuff and all, and then that's how we started the online module.
Yeah. But say these foreign what things you import, stuff like say fruits and vegetables, are they still there or no? That's not there.
So initially it wasn't there for like good 1 month. Then in mid of April it started coming. So because our retail store already used to have all that, so then we used to pick it up from there itself. Then they used to order it for us.
Okay.
So yeah, a little bit the ordering patterns change here and there. So whichever vendor had whatever available, we used to procure that, and then that how we used to start the classes and the retail as well downstairs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and even the restaurants have started for delivery only.
But now a lot of only deliveries will start.
Deliveries
That's
only.
the only thing.
Where are your restaurants are in malls, or where are your
in the mall itself only, in the Sorrentina and the Cafe by Food Hall. It's there only in that building only, one same building. It's the mall, yeah.
Linking Road, right?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Linking Road.
No, there's one ma'am at Vama also. At Ugis Road, near Ugis Road.
Oh, okay.
That's the second one, I think, or the third one.
Third one. Then one is at Palladium.
Palladium, right.
Yes.
So is that is not open? None of these are open. Just the two restaurants.
Vama is open. Vama is open.
Okay. All right. So at any point of time, if you'll need to get off the video, just it's okay. But I'll call on you. I'll just okay. We're waiting on Yash and Tanvi. So please don't feel like you're.
I'm already here.
Huh?
Yash is already.
Yes.
I'm here too.
Tanvi, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, sir is also here.
Can I, Yash, can I only see you till we do the introduction? Hello, ma'am.
Sure.
Hi, Yash.
Hi.
All okay? Are you at Bombay Canteen? Is that where you are?
I'm at Opedo.
I should have recognized the ceiling. How can I?
Yeah.
Considering the number of times I've been there. So good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much to our esteemed panel. Thank you very much for making the time to come. I want to start off by reading something from my latest favorite book, which is called Be Your Guest. It's written by Disney. And it starts off by saying, in this volatile business of ours, we can ill afford to rest on our laurels, even to pause in retrospect. Times and conditions change so rapidly that we must keep our aim constantly focused on the future.
True.
Walt Disney.
Wow.
It's one of those timeless things that you could use, especially now. And so I welcome you to our webinar. And I love the title. It's by Andre Sir, who always gives us these wonderful words. Don't fear through empty roads. We are just around the corner. I'd like to welcome Yash Banage, Vidita Kamath, Ivan Carvalho, Ms. Tanvi, and Edjos. And am I saying it right, Edjos? All 3 years of yours, I butchered your name. I'm sorry. So for those who don't know, I can't imagine you don't know, Yash Banage is one of the co-founders of Hunger Inc., which is two of my best restaurants, the only restaurants that I go to. Sorry, Vidita.
It's okay, ma'am.
Bombay Canteen and O Pedro. But Yash was IHM Goa, then went to Cornell, and from Cornell was at Grand Hyatt, and then in Singapore. And in 2014, a mere 5 years ago, started Bombay Canteen, and I was so fortunate to be there for the soft opening. Fell in love with the food and the way they run their business. And I am holding my breath that all goes well and cannot wait to get back to both the restaurants. Thank you so much, Yash, for being here. We couldn't have a webinar without y'all. You'll have been stood by us and right from the start and been such a part of the family.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Yash. Thank you, Vidita. Vidita, you know, everyone knows her from the Orchid, and she rose and took on and worked really hard and made sure that she was the head of the confectionery and bakery, and then decided to move out on her own and started, I'd love to say it right, Mezcla.
Mezcla, yeah. It means mixing.
Mixing, lovely. And we've all been fortunate enough to have her mixings as she comes to college, occasionally to give us, now it's occasionally, poor girl is so busy, but when she wasn't and she was getting it all started, we took as much chance as we could and got her to college to take classes, and we're very appreciative of it.
Thank you.
And Vidita now is quite a digital celebrity. You see her on a lot of platforms. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for having me.
Thank you. Mr. Ivan Carvalho, for those who have not had anything from American Express, you couldn't be from Bombay, because it's been 100 years that American Express has been around. It's an institution. Ivan is a 4th generation baker. It has been here since 1908. Ivan, of course, not from 1908, but Ivan has also been connected with Don Bosco and has been really kind in taking on quite a few of our bakery students to train them. And we have been very fortunate. They've loved it. Some of them, I think, were kicking their heels and not leaving, so which is a good problem to have. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
And then we have Tanvi Kokate, who has been on several panels for job placements for our students as an assistant L&D manager for a couple of Indian and international brands. We were so happy to have you, and you brought in so much of enthusiasm and so much of motivation for the students when they came for their interviews. But most importantly, you kept them at ease. And I think that brought out the most in them. So thank you, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so
much. And you know, we always say last but not least, and this is definitely not the least. HS came to us as a student years ago, but was a bright shining star from day one. And he never looked back. At the top of his class, there was him and I think another student that kept vying for all the top placement, you know, whether it was practicals or theory, they were constantly at each other's throat. Got into Oberoi, did fantastically, chef the party at Trident, and then decided to become a food instructor at Food Hall. We're waiting for him to actually get fed up of Food Hall, and then you can come back to college and make it a full circle. I'm just but you know what I love about Edjos is that he has constantly kept in touch with the college and has constantly made sure that he inspires the younger batch, and has come in and done some mystery baskets with them, and you know, pitted himself against them, which is kind of a really brave thing to do, and has always come at every trial for our spectrums and made sure that he gives his input. I want to thank all 5 of you.
So
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And, you know, we have today with us, we have our students. We have our wonderful faculty. I know you have all, you've met them. I couldn't do anything without them, especially the team that put the webinar together. A whole bunch of students that are waiting to hear from you all, and a whole lot of new students that have already got pre-admission, and the rest of everyone that has come on because they've seen us on Facebook and all the other platforms. So let's start. What I will do is we'll start off with the things that we are going to be discussing, and then I'll go from Yash to Vidita to Ivan to Tanvi and to Edjos, and y'all can please give us your, you know, all the experience. Y'all come with all this experience and expertise. So let's start off. First, COVID. It has put a full stop to our otherwise absolute fabulous lives of going out and doing exactly what we wanted. eating out, drinking out, going for classes, eating whatever we wanted, from being able to go to American Express. We had all these job placements that came in today, and everything's down to a grinding halt. But we have, it's, you know, this is definitely magnified. This is the first time 100% of business just suddenly stopped. But we've seen this before. We've seen it in 2003 with SARS. Of course, that was not as drastic. It was 50% of business that dropped. But within a span of 3 years, it not only tripled, it quadrupled. So by 2006, the hospitality industry was $5,160 billion. You know, so the idea is it's there. We just have to figure out how we are going to turn the corner. And I'd love for you all to weigh in as to how exactly, first, you're being optimistic, and how you are addressing this entire new normal, whether it is safety, obviously. 2, how do you maintain a stream of income despite all of this? So sorry, Yash, may I start with you?
Yeah, please. You don't need to say sorry at all.
Okay.
It's one, Ivan, I'm a big fan. I stay down the road from American Express, and I'm really grateful that you guys have been on during the lockdown as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Yash.
An optimistic approach. Been in the industry now 11 years. Like you were saying, I used to be a waiter at the Grand Hyatt when the attacks happened, the terrorist attacks on the Taj happened. I was still working at the Hyatt when the economic recession hit. Both were extremely dark times, but both were times when we saw a drop in sales, maybe 50%, 60% over a period of 3 months. What we've never seen is 100% drop in sales, a sense of panic to a level. I still remember even when the terrorist attacks happened, the city still had a sense of unity, a sense of, you never felt, right now when you're on the streets, you feel a bit different, right?
Right.
And that sense of hospitality, forget about restaurants, the sense of hospitality that Bombay had is something that we've lost in the last 3 months, right?
Right.
Where it even comes to, like, when you find out that your neighbor has COVID, instead of, you know, figuring out whether you can be helpful in a way to the neighbor, the first thing neighbors are doing is calling up the BMC saying, take this person out of my colony, right? I think even before we start talking about our businesses, we all need to just change that culture of hospitality. Indians as a whole, we've always been extremely welcoming, extremely warm. We just need to bring that back. And that's what will bring the industry back as well. Because I've been in chat with a lot of my friends internationally. We have a friend who owns a hotel in Italy. And 2 months ago, he was in the worst state ever. But now, through various, I think what we don't have, which the other nations have, is self-discipline, right? At the end of the day, all it takes for us is to wear a mask and to maybe stay a bit far away from each other, right? And the point at which, if we don't have that self-discipline, even if the government lets us open restaurants, if we don't discipline ourselves, even as business owners, as citizens, it's all lost. My optimistic view on it is hospitality as an industry won't change, but hospitality in the way we work will change a lot. What are we doing at O Pedro is basically we have 3 outlets now. We have O Pedro in BKC, we have Bombay Canteen, which has been in Lower Parel, and sadly we had just opened our sweet shop, which is which is our reimagined mithai shop in Baikala, which is called Bombay Sweet Shop, and it had just finished 15 days of opening, and we had to shut it down again. Presently, we are operating only out of 1 unit, which is in BKC. The reason being for it is we've carefully selected a team of people who we know are taking the right precautions. We've got all of them tested, but at the same time, making sure when they go home, they're following those precautions. And we're doing regular testing to just make sure we keep a check on it. But we don't see enough business being there for us to open all.
Okay.
And that what means, Samir, Thomas can come into work every day. We can feel safe as well. What I tell people is, you can get COVID, yes, coming to work, but you can get COVID standing in an elevator as well, or going to the market. All it needs is self-discipline on our end. So for all the students on this thing is, this is a good time to look at yourself and look at what skills you can get online. I've tried my best with stupid things like juggling, and I've failed at it. But I've also been able to spend a lot of time with my dog and teach him some new tricks. So it's a time in your life you're not going to get back. Use it productively. And that should be your optimistic take on it. But I wouldn't put a timeline on this because I honestly don't think we've seen the peak of what we are in right now.
I honestly, I think, Yash, y'all were the first people who started very responsibly doing takeout and kind of set the standard for most people. I'm really hoping they all take it from you, because we watched, as you all did on digital platform, put all the protocols, whether it was safety, whether it was temperature, whether it was the way you handled the takeouts, the way, it was, the delivery was done, the pickups were done. We really are grateful. And I this is, sometimes I think most people might probably think that there's this thing with Bombay Canteen and O Pedro and me, but I honestly and truly feel, if anybody has read the book, Setting the Table by Danny Meyer, this company knows how to run their business because they follow it to the T, and it's exemplary to watch it. And thankfully, because of you all, other people are setting their standards in the same manner. So thank you for taking that plunge to be that responsible, so that you have set the standard for everyone else. I really do hope they all keep to it. So Vidita, what have you all been doing at Metzgla? And
okay, so hello everyone, and good evening actually. So as a team, being the owner and founder of Metzgla, what we have been doing in terms of desserts as of now, we have been making sure that packing is taken into consideration, hygiene and sanitation standards is taken into consideration. See, what happens with the temperature is a difficult thing because it doesn't tell you that time. It's only after 15 days you realize, say, you've got COVID or no. But however, obviously we are taking utmost precautions in that. Labor is less in terms of you have to be there and make sure that everything is taken care of. So I am always there and observing and seeing that everything is in place, because otherwise it's very difficult to if you're not out there and you're not telling them what is to be done, it becomes very difficult. That's what I feel. So we have been taking care in terms of precaution, in terms of packaging, packing, in terms of quality of product, in terms of making sure that we do things cashless. I mean by debit card or say credit card, because what happens is even through any medium, it can come through any medium. So I think that you play, and like Yash rightly said, it plays a very important role that you have to be disciplined. If you're not disciplined, it's just going to increase. And sadly, we Indians don't really realize it. We are always in that chalta hai attitude, which really won't work right now. And if people don't take this seriously, it is going to increase, which is already increased. So yeah, it's going to be difficult. In the hospitality industry, I feel the rules and regulations that have been put and embarked upon us is little extremely strict, because it was not needed. I think if you say 50%, say 50 members, say 50 people are only, occupancy is only what they would say, would not work, right? Your expenses won't come out, what will be your profit, or other things, there'll be job loss. So I think that the government also needs to take this into consideration, understanding the norms, and rules and regulations have to be set properly, I feel. So yeah.
we're really hoping. I mean, most other countries are getting to, where the government is helping out with relaxation on, property taxes, some of the professional taxes, some of the fees, the licenses, delaying the payment on your licenses. I really do hope that they do it for us here in India, because it's going to make it a whole lot easier. But that's some of the optimism that we can all hope for and lobby for.
And I think, ma'am, like rightly said, it's the brand that plays an important role. You have to gain that trust amongst the your customers out there, saying that, we are there for you no matter what, because hospitality is all about that. And if you don't give that kind of warmth feeling to them, they are not going to come to you, or they're not going to take things from you, because they trust you with all their heart out. So I think that's an important thing in terms of hospitality, I feel.
True. So I think Ivan would attest to that, right? I mean, being around.
I totally agree with her in the sense that you run a business, you maintain hygiene, and since I ran the business throughout the lockdown, it's also confidence that you gain from customers. You get new customers coming in,
right?
Because I think word spreads. And
right.
You have to up your hygiene, obviously. I mean, you take it to the next step. You brief your staff on what has to be done and what doesn't. I think this is the future. This is just the beginning. The COVID is one. I'm sure there are other viruses going to come out like this. It's going to work that way. And since we are in baking, I mean, initially I was just baking bread. I stopped pastries and everything else. It was only bread. So there wasn't much of an issue because you're baking at high temperatures and things like that. But yeah, and I ran production in such a way that in the morning, when it was easy for everyone to work and, try and leave early. So you do the production for the whole day early in the morning and, head off early before anybody on the road. But those days, nobody was there. I still am trying to maintain that. But it is very hard with customers entering the shop. I mean, I have two outlets, one in Bandra, one in Baikla. Bandra is fine. I mean, here they maintain, but in Baikla, they weren't that, I had to shut the entrance and, allow one person at a time. But giving the excuse, no, we just want one bread. I said, it doesn't work that way. Whether you want 100, you have to have social distancing. You have to maintain that, which is hard. I mean, we have to educate the public out here. Taking things ahead, I guess, I don't know, with the government, as far as taxes go, I don't know whether they're going to drop it. Yes, that was a good point. They need to give us some breaks on taxes. It's very important. For the restaurant industry. Very, very important for the restaurant industry, and breaks in rentals. Because a lot of the restaurants are paying very, very high rental and common rental costs, like in malls for maintenance of flow area and bathrooms and all. It's a very hard time. It's a very, very hard time. I don't know even if whether banks will give a restaurant a loan to continue down this, because everyone's in a fix. And since restaurants and theaters were the first to shut, they're going to be the last to open up on a full-fledged state, and home delivery is not going to suffice for it. It's very hard. I mean, even home delivery, getting the confidence of customers and things like that is a different thing. You have a restaurant so people can go out and interact and things like that. So let's see how things work out. I'm sure tomorrow is going to be a better day. It is going to work out that way, but I just to take how to move in a positive sense is just have hope and just move ahead. That's the only thing.
Whenever I hear this from everyone and the almost the kind of the fright that everybody is going through, I totally understand that. But even after the terrorist attack, when we saw all the fronts of hotels being completely ruined by you had to put your bag somewhere, you went through a metal detector, and the entire, the wow factor when you walked into a hotel had completely gone. Of course, that's minor compared to what we are going now. going through now, but we kind of got used to it. I have a feeling that if you were doing business right, you will survive this, because your customers are going to stay with you. I think it's the people who kind of were, like slapping things together and getting on will be the ones that will fall off. I was telling Ed Jose, I feel like it's natural selection through this process, really. When it comes to Tanvi, are you at this point in time, are you all training a bunch of staff? Because this is the best time to do it. They have nothing to do.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Before I begin, I just want to say namaste, everyone. I think this is the new greeting, which is not only followed in Indian hotels, but also a lot of international brands are adapting to this greeting. And I think all of us do that when we meet, any other person. So talking about training, I think this is the time where, I've got enough time to train my associates and managers, especially because of the hygiene standards. And, a lot of every hotel brand has their SOPs which we have got from the corporate office, and we are focusing on that. But apart from that, annual ma'am, we are focusing a lot on wellness, and we did a lot of yoga sessions, then fun activities for our employees. And the best part was I never got so much of participation when I was in the hotel, when I got the participation when I was at home. So that was something that was very inspiring for me, which also motivated me to focus on wellness and cook some nice yummy healthy dishes. So that's something that I have really taken from this COVID. Talking about optimism, I think for me, I have taken it in a very positive way, because the things which I didn't get the time to do when I was working, I think I've got the time. When I was working, it was all about rat race, and to 5-star. I don't think so. We've never done so much of research that, what is the history of the company? What is the brand all about? How did this company, what is the entire story? Like talking about Oberoi Hotels. How did Rai Bahadur Mohan Singh Oberoi actually, had the dream to big, dare to dream? That's how he got into Oberoi. Like how he's built that hotel, talking about Marriott, Hyatt. So I think they should really utilize this time in, understanding the hotel, their history, the story of the owners, and then definitely help them at their placement.
Wonderful. I have to say, maybe just for Don Bosco, I can't say for all students, they used to be drilled before y'all came.
Yes.
So we on our side have started online classes, so they are not as free as they should. They were in April and May, but this part of the optimism with this whole lockdown has been everybody has started cooking. Some people love it, some people don't know how to do it, and that's when people like Ed Jose come in, because he's conducting Zoom classes for food hall. So how has it been for you, Ed Jose, through this?
So initially it was like quite difficult when everything got closed down, the supply stopped, everything stopped, okay, initially. So as April started, we started taking classes and all with whatever resources we had, like whatever store, whatever ingredients we had, we started making a menu on that and then take a class. Now here what happened is all the SOPs changed because the way we used to handle the guest when they were on board, and now handling a guest online when they are actually cooking with us. So we had to come up with a whole new SOP, the whole new recipe card format, how to explain them and all. So it took a longer time for us to come up with that. Then we started like taking all the precautions. Obviously, at the studio also, we also maintain this social distancing and all. Like on one station, only one chef is there taking the class and one person handling the camera. That's it. And whereas when we enter the store and all, the company, the brand has already like taken a lot of care for that. Like everyone has been given a mask, then they check the temperatures together. The whole building sanitization is done like in another or every alternate day or something. So all these things are taken care of. And once the supply started, that's where we got a good help from the suppliers as well, because it was like even the suppliers were not getting stuff to provide to the other this. Okay, so yeah, that was a challenge we faced initially, and as soon time went by, we started getting ingredients and all. And food all is something that we get all these imported ingredients as well. So depending on that, we started taking classes, and it is initially it was quite difficult for us to take an online Zoom class where people are actually cooking with you all, and obviously the equipments they have, the equipments we have, it kind of becomes difficult for them also to cope up with what we are doing and all. So we had to be really basic in whatever we were doing, so that at home they wouldn't be in any problem or something. So that way, the concept of teaching has already changed. Like it is a whole different scenario when you're actually sitting in a class with 50 to 60 students and you're teaching them and you're there to monitor them with what they're doing. But in when it comes to online, you cannot monitor them. You can only see like what they're showing on your camera. You cannot go and taste their food and see and tell them, okay, fine, this is less or this is more. You need to rectify. So that is one challenge where we have to come up with, and like as Chef Vidita said, we need to find solutions with that. So we have to come up with new things, and obviously because of this pandemic, everyone is suffering because of that. So solution is one thing where we all have to like work on it and find.
But your maximum number of students that you'd have in a class was how many before?
Before it was around 40. We've taken class till 40 as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And
now now it's like 20 we take minimum. Minimum 20 we get only. Otherwise, it goes up till 30, 35.
Okay.
Yeah. But right now, because right now even the cost factor differentiates, because initially we used to provide the ingredients, equipment, and the place as well. And right now it's like you're only attending the classes, you all are getting your own ingredients. So we only charge them for the class.
Right.
So when in terms of revenue, it makes a big difference for us.
Right. I would imagine you'd get more people, considering everybody is going crazy trying to figure out what to cook every day.
Exactly, yes. So we teach different cuisines, so we get a lot of new people, and our old guests and all, they're always attending the classes, because I said the customers, we have that trust factor in them, and they also trust us. So they do attend a lot of classes, and we try out new stuff. So then everything is taken care of like that.
Okay, wonderful. So I mean, as I talk to each one of you, there is that sense of dread. You know, we still are in those empty roads. You know, kind of panicking a little bit, wondering what's going to happen. But I still feel that there are just amazing things that are going to come. I'll give you an example. I live in this bubble here at Planet Godrej, but I have to say they started something which is absolutely phenomenal. You know, you have all these ladies that are cooking. They started an app called My Tree. And so everybody's cooking food, right? So these ladies started cooking, instead of for their 4 people in their house, they started cooking for 8. And they would put up those 4 orders on the My Tree, and you'd kind of put in your order and say, okay, I'm going to take your, you know, your whatever, your salad, or your, there's one lady who makes the best nali nihari, and so has everyone, you know, waiting for when she puts it up. We would have never thought of doing something like that. You know, so I think in the midst of all of this, you know, I do not want to take away from financially how devastating this is and how difficult this is. But I am absolutely certain that in the midst of all of this, when I listen to all of you, there's going to be so much of innovation that I think life can only get better. We are going through this literally horrible time, but I think the reason we're going through this is God only knows, but I think along with it comes a tremendous sense of innovation, a tremendous sense of new platforms, you know, whether it is learning how to figure out a delivery system, whether it is making sure that your products are done in a certain manner, training staff, you're keeping your business going, new classes. I think still I'm you know, I don't know whether I'm living on a fool's island, but I still believe that we are in an optimistic time despite everything. So, you know, we are moving into this new online kind of experience as we do. I never heard of Zoom, trust me, never heard of Zoom before this. There would be no reason for me to get onto Zoom. And all of a sudden now it's become a daily platform. We'd never heard, I had no idea there were so many Google Duo and Meet and Classroom, and it's, so my thing is we are moving into all of that. Yash and the entire Hunger Inc. has done a phenomenal job with making sure that there were canteen classes, and now Zach and Chef Hussein are doing live classes, right? How else are you keeping us still in the Hunger Inc. family with education and with keeping us in touch with you guys through this digital platform and teaching us, because that's what y'all have been doing from day one. Y'all have constantly made sure that the kids, students are first.
Yeah. So to be honest, when this hit us around 2.5 months back, we made like a 4 and a 6 month roadmap for the company, which is called Hunger Inc. And we obviously, to what Ivan said, we have landlords with their feet at our throats right now, asking us to pay up our rents, which we don't pick up phone calls. But we said in the 4 months we are not going to make money. Let's just get real with this. Like, delivery is like 5% of revenues, does not even cover my costs. But what we do in those 3 months is gain some love over social media, over our community, and because we have an amazing team on board, which can always give a lot in terms of education. Canteen class was something we obviously used to do before as well. But now with Instagram Live, it just becomes easier to go for a bigger medium of people. For everyone who doesn't know canteen classes is basically for students of hospitality, where we every week now we have one topic and we have an expert for that. So for this Saturday, we have someone who owns his own beer brewery, Nakul Bhosle from Great State Ale from Pune, who will be talking about how do you set up your own brewery and what's happened to him during the COVID stage. And this happens every Saturday. At the same time, similar to what Edjo said, we do Zoom workshops as well. Last Saturday, I did a Zoom workshop for 28 fathers as Father's Day to show them how they can make cocktails for a Saturday evening. It was quite interesting. It was extremely interesting. We've done Zoom workshops. I did a Zoom workshop for Boston Consultancy Group for 180 people.
Whoa.
Yeah. So like you said, with technology, there are other things that we can do, but none of these are even close to covering our costs. But it's more about how do we still keep in touch with our guests, with our community. Like, for Hunger Inc. community has always been important. Obviously, with the loss of Chef Floyd and what happened with us in the beginning of April, as in that took a shock. And honestly, we didn't do much in the month of April. We didn't know how to deal with it. And you know Chef Floyd personally as well, and he was like a father figure to all of us. So since then, we've like taken our time to get back on our feet, honestly. First step was obviously opening Opedro for delivery. Then we added the Zoom workshop. Then we added canteen class, and then we added bar stories. Next week, Thomas is going to be showing people how to make appams on a Zoom workshop. We want to keep adding layers to it because we know we have another 3 months minimum to go before we even look at opening our restaurant again. So a lot of people on our team ask me, what's the plan for next week? And we tell them, guys, we always used to plan a month ahead. Let's just plan for the next day. Let's take one step at a time because the regulations keep changing. I have honestly reached the point where I know the government is not going to help us. Government's never helped restaurants, bakeries, honestly. there will be 100 benefits put up on Instagram and Twitter by our humble leader of this country. But I don't think any of that is going to materialize on the ground. So we've started working on what do we need financially and how we're going to get there. It's a very slow process, but working on that. So most importantly for us, it has been about how do we keep the love going on in the community. And that's what we're aiming at right now.
We definitely are feeling the love, Yash. So you've won on that account. I do want to, take a note of Chef Floyd's death was through everyone. For I still can't come to terms with it because he was supposed to be with us at our college. I was supposed to be there with your 5 years and I missed it, and somehow we didn't see each other. And you never ever think you're not going to see somebody again. The thing is that with all that y'all are doing, the love is tremendous, because the moment you say canteen class, the entire Don Bosco alumnus and present student body kind of is ready to go for it. So please know that we're all here, and we're definitely there 100% behind you. What has thank you, Yash. Vidita, what have you all been doing as far as online? You told me you had taken some classes, right? Live classes.
Yes, ma'am.
What was the one thing that you found really, there's so many things that make it difficult, but when you're doing a live class, how did you kind of, go through the entire motion to make sure that it was flawless? Because it's so much, it's so much easier when somebody is right in front of you rather than, you are able to tell them what the feel of the bread needs to be and what the feel of the smoothness of a frosting has got to be. How do you tell them that over
that's a very difficult task. So right now, I was doing classes with kids. I have been doing private classes as well, but mostly right now, since there's a lockdown and since kids were at home, I was focusing more on kids. And it was a fun class I did with the Indian Oil, which was registered around 170 people, pan India. And also I had done with Podar School International. So I think, to lighten up the whole thing, first of all, teaching kids is an amazing thing, and it's also a task also because they mess the kitchen. But however, I think nowadays kids are very interested in cooking and baking and all of that. So I think first of all, one is that you better get your things noted well, your recipe. How are you going to perform it? How are you going to make sure that your ingredients are all in place? So all of that plays an important role, your lighting, and how are you going to make it easy for your students to understand? So I know like bread making is a difficult process, but I would always say that, the bread should always be like a baby's bum. So it's something that, would probably they would probably connect with it. But like I say, it should be soft and like a baby's bum, and then they all go like laughing over it. So I think you need to put a little make things a little light when you cook, so that they understand. And sometimes you need to be a kid when you cook with them. That's when I'm teaching with kids, because you talking high giving high like words which they won't understand, say in hospitality terms that are there, they're not going to understand. So you need to be a child by your own and help them out over there. But otherwise, privately, I have been doing good. I have been catering, delivering desserts as of now. So it has been a task, but like I said, you have to find a solution. Starting, obviously, since there was a lockdown, you weren't doing anything. So probably you would look at recipes, you would probably see how you could engage yourself in other things, in terms of also a sense of direction of how you're going to take your brand to another next level with this, because this is going to be there for another 6-7 months. So I think you need to tie up with a lot of brands. I think you need to tie up with a lot of get associated with somebody who would want to take this forward. So that's how I've been engaging. So yeah, it's been good, but you just need to be disciplined, and focus is important. It's very important to focus.
Wonderful. Ivan, have you all done anything with the, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know whether you've had the time to, but.
No, nothing much on social media apart from getting customer confidence for business. But I must mention one of the trainee students that you have given me, Wilson. This should, I mean, all students should be doing this. I was amazed the moment the lockdown started, every week, and he's a bakery student. Every week he used to send me one picture of a carving he's done on a watermelon, or how he was utilizing his time, and I was amazed. I mean, the kind of enthusiasm he had, and I think all students should, now with the net. I mean, 20-30 years ago, we had to open books like Larousse and look at it. Now with the net, look at a recipe, try something new. I mean, in your free time, because you may have online classes, but you have a lot of more free time because all your traveling and all is not there anymore.
Right.
Try things at home, make new things, experiment with things. Even if they don't come out well, try it again. Food is like that. You're never going to get it right to the first thing, especially in the bakery line. I mean, you must be knowing bread always is something that the more the experience, or, even a simple thing like mayonnaise. Why does mayonnaise split? How do you correct it? Things like that. Do all your research, and you have the net. Utilize this time to think ahead. Okay, because a college can only teach you a certain amount of thing, practically, even physically. I mean, in college or online. The remaining time, I think, should be utilized by the students to research stuff, do things on their own. And what amazed me is a bakery boy doing this carving. That is what amazed me, because I'm a bakery boy. I'll never say, okay, I'm doing carving. I can't. And really good stuff. It just amazed me. That's what. But we've only. I mean, I've been only promoting the business online. I mean, we don't take classes and things like that. Only classes are with my children at home.
Honestly, but Ivan, if you decide that you're going to do a live session with your kids and put it up, all the American Express followers will be there just to watch the three of y'all baking bread together.
I think my wife is more into it, because when I go to work, and Liam, my son's birthday was in May, her birthday was on June 10th. I go to work and come back, and she pulls out a cake. I said, where are you getting this? But I know we're all talented, but I think the pastry line is definitely
on the there's definitely optimism.
Yeah. And decorations and all, everything. Like, wow.
Wonderful. Tanvi, what kind of techniques have you used besides Zoom to be able to have all the
So initially, of course, I think Zoom was very popular, and even I was trying to get more participants on Zoom. I think it was very easy once you understand. You just have to send the link on WhatsApp, and they have to click on that, and you're there on the screen. So that's something that we've definitely dealt with. But we also faced a little bit challenges because of network issues. Not everyone had that broadband connectivity. Hence, we've also used Microsoft Teams. In fact, I think Microsoft Teams is more professional, when it comes to doing associate meet, or, when a general manager is addressing your associates or team members. Also, on the other hand, we've also done Google Meet. So these are the various techniques that we've used. And, I wanted to share this. In fact, we partnered with Ecolab, when it comes to hygiene. And it was a very interesting training session that we had. And I think not only the associate from the hotel were interested, but also their partners were interested in the training. Is all because it was when you come back home, when you buy vegetables and fruits, how do you rinse them and wash them? So that was very interesting, and we really appreciated that session, because we all are, we have that fear in mind that when we step out the house, if we are taking precautions, what is the food, how do you handle that? So I think that was something that was very nice, and we got a lot of participation for that, and we did that training through actually Microsoft Team, and fortunately it went very well. So it was very nice. And this way, I think because of this time, I've got a lot of time to connect with my colleagues. So, because you're at home entire day, I think I know my colleagues so much. I think I did not know that person when I was at workplace. So that's something that I think is really, I think I have all the positive points to share because I really enjoyed this time. I'm enjoying this, time with my family, my colleagues. We do video calls. I don't feel that I'm not at my workplace. So that's something very nice.
I love this. I love to see that, when you're looking at stuff through a prism of optimism, a whole lot can be done.
Yes.
Edjos, can you weigh in? I mean, what is the easiest thing, and then what's been the most difficult thing with this online? And if there's a technique that we can learn from you.
So basically now what I will tell you, basically the challenges, what we exactly face is like, as I mentioned before that when people are cooking along with us, that is the biggest challenge. So for them to procure the ingredients and all, we have to tell them a 1 week prior, give them the recipe and the shopping list, what is to be brought and all. And then it's like with every ingredient, obviously people won't get everything. So they ask for replacements for that and all. So then we have to come up with replacements for every ingredient with what they use. And according to that, we need to teach them. Now that is one thing. And the second challenge is obviously, as Chef Vijita mentioned, the kids. They mess up the whole kitchen. Yes, that's true. And yeah, we have to be really careful with them. And yes, rightly she said, we have to be like kids when we are taking a class with the kids. That fun factor has to be there with them. More of fun and less of, and obviously we cannot use all these technical words we use in the hotels and all. We have to be like really simple with them. And yes, now Zoom call is one medium what we do, and the second medium what we do is Instagram IGTVs. So we take one recipe or maybe a spice or something, and we do an IGTV and we post it. So people can use that. For example, we did an IGTV of salad dressings. So we thought we made a video of 7 to 8 dressings, and we spoke about how can you use those dressings in other ways and all. Similarly, other ingredients, we take one recipe, maybe a cuisine we'll take, and for the next 2-3 days, we take one dish from each cuisine, and then we do IGTVs. So that is something where people have an access to anytime they need IGTVs. Like Zoom calls and all, it can be recorded, but then it has a certain amount of time where it is there on the net, and then it has gone away. So IGTV is something they can refer, and people obviously have attended classes, they have the recipe cards and all. We don't give them methods, so because obviously if we give them everything, then it's kind of easy for them. So what we do is, if you're cooking along with us, you take down your own notes and you write along with us when we are talking to you and we are teaching. So that is how they will remember. They will register that in their heads, and then they will cook. So that's the techniques we normally use. These are the Zoom call or the Instagram IGTVs, which is quite feasible right now.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Truly, because I don't think we had even thought about that. So that's, see, I knew we were going to learn a whole lot from you. Before we continue, I just would like to tell everyone that is on the webinar with us, all the students, can you please register? There's on the chat, there is the registration form. Can you please register and make sure that you fill in the form? If there's any questions, I don't see. Okay, they want to know the SOPs for opening the restaurant. We are getting, can I ask Yash if he's still around to give us, if they've given you any specific SOPs to open a restaurant? I mean, they've done the 1 meter and the 50% occupancy, but is there any other?
I was on mute. Maharashtra does not have the SOPs yet, but the best SOPs actually, if the students want to go online, there's a restaurant company in Hong Kong called Black Sheep. They've done a really nice COVID playbook, which is available to everyone free, which they can download and look at. We've been using that SOP as well instead of creating our own. It's a very all-encompassing SOP. It's a great learning as well. David Chang from Momofuku, New York, they've also put up their SOP online. So there are a lot of online protocol that you can get, but in terms of Maharashtra, there's nothing that's come out yet.
I just for most all of you on the panel have known that I used to with my sister own a restaurant in the States, and the high standards of hygiene and that we had to keep. I used to get a little flummoxed when I came back and saw what was happening here, except for few brands, and especially to the people that I'm talking to. You all had superior, food and health safety standards, but it's not everybody. And I think, honestly, this is going to shape up the entire that aspect of it, which would really and truly give the customer a sense of well-being and make sure that we are we are safe when we get out to eat. On the last, we've got a few minutes left.
Ma'am, I just wanted to add, for the SOP thing. So I think in hospitality and hotel, grooming plays a very important role, and I think we all give utmost importance to that.
Right.
So as we all know that mask and gloves is something that is a mandate for every associate to wear. But apart from that, this is what I have read, and I think this is a good thing to follow. There's like a small sling bag which is made, which has like a tissue paper. It has a sanitizer. That is something that I think can be a part of the uniform, which is like an easy access, like an extra precaution that can be taken care of.
That's a wonderful idea. Okay. Lovely. I would ask all five of you, how can Don Bosco, you all have supported us, you all have mentored us, our students and the faculty and myself over the years. How can we be of assistance? How can we support? What can my students do to be there for all of you once it is safe for them to come? We'll be there. So what can we do? Yash, let us know, and then I'll go down to everyone. So think about what we can do for you.
I think right now, there isn't, obviously we all need to keep in touch with each other. Online and not
yes.
offline.
Yes.
But I genuinely feel each one of us needs to do each one of us a favor by wearing a mask and just being socially distant. I think that's all I keep reiterating to whoever I meet, my team, whoever I speak to, the 100 WhatsApp groups, which some of them have their own theories about coronavirus and how it comes from. I was like, this is the simplest thing that someone's asked us to do, is wash our hands, wear a mask, and be socially distant. I think of all students who are on this call as well, it does not matter if you get the best sanitizer and if you get the best mask of N95. If you don't, if you're not going to be self-disciplined enough, I don't think anyone can help each other. So I think that's a request I've been making from everyone since March. Obviously for us, it's been a personal loss to Corona and COVID. So we felt it a lot, and we don't want anyone else to go through it. So that would be my request.
And for those of you who don't want to wear a mask, just realize you're getting one more fashion accessory. For God's sake, use it. Whether it is your mask matching your t-shirt or your pant, please do it. And then wear goggles too, because that was one of the other things. If you wear specs, great. But if you have goggles that covers the side of it, because a lot of time you can get it into the mucosa of your eye if you don't watch. So it's absolutely necessary. And sometimes these glasses don't help because we have all this open. So yes, Vidita, how can we help you? And how can we be of assistance to Metskara?
Sorry, I was on mute.
No,
I think how we could help one another is obviously hygiene, sanitation. That plays an important role. We don't know what the norms are going to be of FSSAI as of now. I mean, it's all out there, but no one knows the term, rules and regulations properly as of now. But what I think in terms of what Don Bosco could give students out there would be like, say, recorded videos, which they could look behind and, go through it.
Okay.
And also, I think you could bring in new educators in terms of from different field in hospitality. So that would help them to increase their knowledge in terms of say online, because offline is going to be difficult as of now. But I think online is going to be a great help. for all the newcomers who are going to be, because they don't know what hospitality is.
Right.
I mean, everyone knows, but they don't know the practicality of it, right? Like everyone knows that it's a very glamorous world out there, but the thing is that it's not glamour. It's hard work, it's discipline, it's perseverance, it's being optimistic in, even though if you've had a bad time, say at home or somewhere else, you just have to keep smiling. So they have to understand all of this, is all about hospitality. No matter whatever happens, the show must go on, like they say. So, yeah. So I think the thing is that I think video recording would help a lot of children out there in terms of practical knowledge and theory as well. So yeah, I think that would be great.
Wonderful. I'll be calling on you.
Yes, definitely. Anytime.
Ivan, how can we support each other through this?
I think he's mute. Unmute.
Mute.
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me?
No, that's okay.
I agree what Yash said. The main thing is, yes, a sense of hygiene, social distancing, especially, when the students are traveling by train, because to safeguard the interest of other employees, if they are unwell, don't come to work, but don't BS about it, that I'm unwell and sit at home. Be truthful to yourself. And in this time sitting at home, do a lot of research on the net to see what are the new protocols. I think Yash mentioned, yes, there was a restaurant in Hong Kong that had got a certain procedure to open up again the restaurant. Look for what knowledge you're getting off the net to see how you can improve and what the college hasn't taught you. Okay.
Right.
Till whatever the systems come into place, because to be very honest, I don't think the local authorities know how to take this ahead. I mean, I had gone 2 weeks ago to the BMC with a mask. They stopped me outside, held me back. Although a senior officer called me in. She was there in the office at 11. I was waiting there from 9:30. That's fine. I waited out, went in, and I go in and everyone's without a mask. And then she sees me, she's talking to me and then picking up the mask and putting it in. So, I mean, the thing is, we have to be true to us, and we are in the food industry. Just do stuff diligently and,
Right.
Right.
Thank you. Tanvi.
Yes, I completely actually second to what my other panels are saying. Hygiene and sanitizing plays a very important role. But I think at this moment, what you can actually do is, tell them that yes, hope is there. And, I was attending this webinar on BW Hotelier, and one of the industry experts said that there is going to be something like revenge travel, where people are going to travel. They're not going to stay at home because we've been staying home for more than 3 months. We all want to create memories, and that's why the travel will definitely begin. It's just that it's going to take some time. There are certain, I just want to talk about certain facts. I was reading about it. Internationally, 85% of Marriott hotels in China have already opened. Bars and pubs are going to open in July in England. And also Austria, the trade fair and exhibition is going to open in July. So there is a lot that is happening internationally. So that actually tells us that there is hope, which will definitely, get Indian hospitality in India also, to open up and we get back to the routine.
Wonderful. That I love to hear things like that, because we are walking down this path that is, I need the roads to start filling up. Yep, Edjos.
Yeah, so then it's right that everyone knows hygiene is a very important point. Yes, that for a fact I know that in the college I'll obviously have an emphasis on that. So that wouldn't be a problem. Only thing, the students shouldn't lose hope. That is rightly said by Ms. Anvi. So because once they lose hope, then nothing can be done, right? So the hospitality industry, obviously, the revenge travel will start. People will start traveling, and obviously, people are not going to stop eating. Like staying at home, how much will they eat the same food? They need to go out to a restaurant, try different cuisines and all. So definitely, our industry will start, but obviously, it's going to take a time. It's going to be different. like keeping in mind all the new norms and all, it's going to be different. The experience is going to be different, but it's not that the industry is going to stop or something. So the students should know that. And yes, till the time everything starts full-fledged, yes, send them some videos or something like that. Keep them engaged. Just don't let them do something theoretically. Keep them engaged, like the webinars and all we are doing right now. The more the students are engaged, the more interest they will have, and obviously they won't lose hope, and that's going to help them.
Thank you. I really want to, yes.
Maybe you should be asking the students, because they are the younger minds, of how the same question you asked us, maybe you should be asking them. Because I'm sure they have some ideas as well. They do the research.
They will also have really good ideas with this.
So,
because they may just spark off with something that may create this thing, I mean, a certain
Ivan, we have what are called these WhatsApp groups that we keep. I kind of, was keeping in touch with the students by sending them messages, and we sent it really early to them in April, where I made it clear to the ones, especially the ones who are graduating, that your hotel jobs are not going to be there till December. So you need to figure out some form of business. And I have to tell you that it's been really nice to watch that a lot of the third years have started. I know a couple at least who have sent me their, what they are making. One boy with his mom has started making beef tongue and sorpatel, and they're, putting out orders over there. Others are writing out bar tips and putting it. The thing with the third year batch is that they are caught between, are we graduating or not? Because everybody is arguing about whether they should have a final exam or not. But the ones who have gone to second and third year, one of the staff members started a group where they post the food that they've been cooking. And it's quite exciting to see, you especially when you see the second years who were first years last year, when you saw a lot of burnt food, and then you suddenly see all this fancy stuff that's coming. I'm hoping that they will all do that. Right now, we've started them on online classes so that they just get used to the platform. But I will make sure that I definitely ask them what they, and maybe even give them a chance to host a class every now and then, because there's some amazing food. And especially when I'm alone here and I'm trying to, it's been forever since I've cooked. I look at that food and go, wish we were all together.
Actually, I think this is something that I've learned. When it comes to communication, bad news or good news is the news. But no news is something that's very scary. So I think it's very important to communicate with our students and, of course, any other people that you do with. I think that's what something I've learned in this time, and I'll definitely take it forward with me in my career. That whatever it is, whether it's good or bad, I will definitely communicate it with everyone. So that's something that I think we should definitely remember.
Lovely.
Ma'am, one thing.
Yes.
So I just think that in this whole thing, a lot of people are getting pressurized because of many other things, personal, professional, whatever it is. But like she said, it's important to communicate. However, I think that students should understand that this is a pressure test. Hospitality is about pressure test right now. And I think you should take the advantage of it, because like Sir said, social media is there, sit at home, learn new things. And I think that's a wonderful thing, but people should take pressure as a very positive thing and not a negative thing, So the more the pressure, the more creation, the more creativity, the more innovation in the house. So I think that should be taken in a very positive aspect of thinking.
I think it's like fall, falter, restart, and push.
Yeah, because you are going to fall back. You have to fall back. You have to uplift yourself, because see, no one's going to do that for you. You have to self-motivate yourself out there. And I think hospitality teaches you everything, because it grinds you in all aspects, whether it is physical, mental, all these kind of things really brush you and make you a diamond, I feel.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's quite true, yeah.
I hope all the students are listening to all of this. With that, I would like to first, again, I hope everyone that has come in and has registered. But I want to thank my 5 panelists. I am so grateful to you all for taking the time, for making sure that you share, your expertise, your time, your experience. This is such, all that you're going through, and yet I think all 5 of you have literally shone a light to say, it is going to be fine. It's a matter of time. Be responsible. Mask and goggles, please, when you go out. Your hand sanitizer. I love that idea of the pouch with the hand sanitizer and the tissue and the gloves. Make sure that we take this on as a pressure test and not as something that, you need to just simply crumple up and fall. Make sure that the students use the time to, like Ivan said, like Wilson did, to learn as much as possible. We're constantly putting on open free line courses to these kids, and we're hoping that they will jump at it. Tanvi, yes, communication, and I have to learn that, because I tend to slip into not communicating with the kids and letting the rest of the staff do it. And so, I understand that part of it. And it just, honestly, that, the thing with the Instagram caught my attention, and I think we need to be doing a lot more of that just to keep it going. With that, I would like to extend also, as a token of our appreciation, that once COVID we get to turn the corner, I would like to invite 5 of you for a very, very, very special meal at Don Bosco, where we can make sure that our Don Bosco hospitality can be extended, and we can have you actually interact with our students in face.
Absolutely.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
very much. And to everybody that attended, thank you very much for taking the time out. I look forward to seeing everybody the moment we turn this corner and fill the streets. But till then, safe social distancing, mask, goggles, wash your hands, and namaste. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Edjos. Thank you, Vidita. Thank you, Tanvi. Thank you, Yash. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
And especially my
nice
team.
meeting you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, I don't know how to do this. I will leave Melroy to do that part of it.
Yes, ma'am. You can just end.
Okay.